overview, actually, if we can say a phrase for this project is that its main goal is to strengthen the rural and urban linkages through foresight and stakeholder engagement and the digital tools that are being developed in the project and the regional action plans that have been developed during the project. It's a 3 years project started from 2024 and this year is going to be completed. There are 20 partners, I think, yes, across Europe, and 9 pilot regions. If we can move on to the next slide, we can see the challenges. Actually, there are some common challenges across the Europe. So starting from a number of shared, let's say, territorial challenges, we see that in many regions there are rural and urban areas that are still poorly integrated in planning and policy. There is fragmented governance, and the access to services and innovation is uneven. There is a demographic pressure that includes the aging and youth out-migration. There is also a limitation in stakeholder participation in decision-making, and there is the need to use better the data and digital tools in this territorial planning. So, as a response to these challenges, we see that the PoliRuralPlus aims to improve the cooperation and the governance between rural and urban areas, the supported integrated strategies and the regional action plans. And we aim to strengthen the access to services and innovation. This project also supports broader, let's say, EU priorities like the European Green Deal, the CAP and the EU long-term vision for rural areas, while promoting the use of AI and geospatial tools and participatory methods, actually, in pilot regions. So in the next slide, we can see this overview of the tools. Yes, actually, it's an integrated toolbox, let's say, that it's used for analysis, stakeholder engagement, and regional action planning. These are the tools that have been developed in the project. There is the advisor, which is actually an interactive analysis of the knowledge of the PoliRuralPlus and supports the pilots. There is the JACTO, which is going to be presented later on, an AI chat agent, let's say. There is a tool, the MMAA, which is about the stakeholder engagement, and all of this to support the pilots and the regional action planning. If we can move on to the next one, we can see the 9 pilots in the project, which is a core element, let's say. There are different pilots that represent different territorial realities. So we can see that there are projects dealing with the circular economy or the supply chain, the training for sustainable agri-technologies, and all of these are being tested. Actually, they test the tools and we produce the regional action plans. So we can move on to the next one to see our focus for the central Greece region. Actually, it's the Greek pilot for which we are the Agricultural University of Athens, the GEA and Europublic work together in this. So our pilot is located in central Greece, which is a region with strong agricultural potential. There are diverse landscapes. Its economy actually combines traditional agriculture and small-scale manufacturing. And the region also faces some challenges that we're going to address, such as the rural population, the youth out-migration. There is also a big skills gap, let's say, and limited digital capacity in agriculture. So focused on these challenges, we are going to address by doing some actions, if we can see the next slide. So actually, we are trying to link the smart agriculture, the agritourism, the digital upskilling in one approach, let's say. So actually, its main objective is to strengthen this economic resilience and digital competencies in the region. There is the targeted training in sustainable agri-tech technologies, and especially for all the involved actors. And the second big pillar in this pilot is the promotion of agritourism. So there are some tailored actions and strategic initiatives for local projects and regions' natural assets, let's say. And of course, we build in the work that have been made already in the PoliRural work, the previous project. And a main focus of this project and in our pilot, of course, is the stakeholders' engagement. So there are participants from agriculture, from research, policy, young professionals. We use some thematic discussions, let's say. We have trainings, we have workshops. We need this interaction to integrate all this input into the regional action plan. We have already produced the first one and we're going to update it. So our expected results is actually to include better digital skills in this community and to have more and more persons that can adopt these agri-tech technologies. And in the longer term, we can say that our aim is to have a region with a more resilient and digitally transformed in this place. So that's all from my side, and I think that we're done. Okay.
Yes, Penny, thank you.
If we have any questions.
Okay. Well, if there are any questions, you can pop them in the chat and we will address it as we go. And now we move on to Dionysios Solomos' presentation. If you would like, Dionysios, to share your screen.
Yeah, just give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I would like to thank you, Katerina, for taking the initiative for organizing the joint webinar between QuantiFarm and the PoliRuralPlus at the intersection of our common activities, specifically focusing on the digital tools created by the two projects to support data-driven decision-making in agriculture. I will start with some basic project details that actually form the identity of the QuantiFarm project. QuantiFarm is a Horizon Europe Research and Innovation action, which comes with a full title assessing the impact of digital technology solutions in agriculture in real-life conditions. The project has a duration of 45 months. It started in July 2022 and ended in March 2026. Initially, the project had a duration of 42 months, but after the first year of project implementation, we requested the extension of its duration to 3 months to align the timeline of project activities with our cultivation periods in the test cases in our pilots. Currently, we are in the process of preparing the progress report and the overall conclusion of the project. QuantiFarm has a budget that exceeds 7 million euros, and the consortium gathers 32 partners from 20 European countries representing various stakeholders across the agricultural value chain. The coordinating entity is Purin from Greece. A piece of contextual information to help you better understand the background and underlying logic of our action. The main challenge we seek to address with QuantiFarm is the limited uptake of digital solutions by European farmers. Basically, despite the recent explosion of interest and investment in the use of digital technologies over the past decade, the adoption rate remains quite low and below sectoral expectations, undermining the digital transformation of the primary sector. This can be attributed to various factors, including limited awareness about digital technologies, the lack of concrete and hard evidence on the effectiveness and tangible benefits of digital solutions, as well as different sociocultural and behavioral factors that discourage a wide adoption. Other factors include the high cost, low trust in commercial vendors, and inadequate support from farm advisors. In this context, there is a need to create independent and reliable assessments of the multiple costs and benefits and sustainability implication of digital solutions, and making these assessments, these evaluations widely and openly available and of practical use. For QuantiFarm, this is considered a vital condition, a stepping stone for the proliferation of digital solutions at scale. The overall mission now of QuantiFarm is to accelerate the deployment and adoption of digital agriculture technology solutions as key enablers for enhancing the sustainability, performance, and competitiveness of the agricultural sectors by developing a robust assessment framework to reliably assess the efficacy and the impact of digital solutions, and creating methodologies, resources, and tools for farmers, farm advisors, and policymakers to support digital uptake. Overall, QuantiFarm was an ambitious project with multifaceted objectives, but at the same time, it was unique in its approach and highly innovative. Our innovation lies in several elements. First, we have a strong practical focus, which is reflected in our 30 test cases and our robust analytical framework. We engage commercial farms, not experimental ones, to enable testing under real production conditions. We have a systematic cross-European coverage. Our pilots are implemented across 20 European countries and 10 by geographical regions. And we place our stakeholders' needs at the center of our activities, employing an iterative bottom-up approach to the development of different tools and resources that responds to the actual needs and challenges faced by the agricultural ecosystem. Now, as part of our activities, we conducted extensive research into the behavioral factors that affect the adoption and non-adoption of digital solutions by farmers. What we did was to visit farmers on their place and try to obtain first-hand insights into their perspectives and concerns regarding the use of digital technologies. We sought to understand who is involved in the decision-making process, the family and gender dynamics, and the different cultural factors behind digital uptake. This exercise resulted in the creation of an analytical framework that outlined the key determinants of that adoption across all the different stages of the decision-making process, from initial consideration to uptake and use, capturing the dynamic nature of digital uptake and highlighting the interactions between behavioral, sociocultural, and contextual factors. Speaking of data assessment, the evaluation of the different digital solutions is facilitated through a robust assessment framework, a scientific framework that combines cost-benefit analysis with sustainability impact assessment. Our assessment framework was designed to reliably evaluate the different costs, benefits, and sustainability implication of digital solutions at both the individual production steps and the whole farm system. It is grounded in over 100 performance indicators and relies on tailored calculation modules specific to each crop and digital solution examined. It also distinguishes between impacts that are indirectly and directly attributable to that use. It is important also to mention that the assessment framework is complemented by a governance framework designed to safeguard the credibility of that assessment based on standardized data collection, reporting, and verification processes. The assessment framework was evolved throughout project implementation based on the results achieved in our 30 test cases. As already mentioned, our test cases, our pilots reside at the heart of our implementation approach. Since the outset of the project, we established a network of 30 test cases engaging 115 parcels from 20 European countries and 10 biogeographical regions. Our farms represent a diverse range of agricultural sectors, crops, and financial contexts, providing a comprehensive overview of how digital solutions perform under real production conditions. We cover 7 agricultural sectors, 10 crop and livestock products, and we consistently examine 40 different commercial digital agricultural technology solutions. Our piloting activities span 3 consecutive cultivation periods in a way to obtain as more representative and accurate results. In terms of our methodology, for each farm using a digital agricultural technology solution and equivalent farm with similar characteristics from the same location but not using a digital solution was engaged in testing activities. At the end of each cultivation period, we collected data from a series of key agricultural and economic variables to estimate the actual and true impact of using a digital solution on the farm. Next, one of the most practical and important outcomes of the project was the QuantiFarm Toolkit. The QuantiFarm Toolkit is a web-based, user-friendly dashboard designed to increase information availability, raise awareness, and facilitate evidence-based decision-making regarding digital solutions. The toolkit features 5 decision support tools for farmers and farm advisors, namely the cost-benefit calculator, the recommendations tool, the benchmarking tool, the advanced decision support tool, and the DATS assessment engine. For sure, more details on these different services will be provided in one of the upcoming sessions by my colleague, George Harvalis. Overall, the toolkit draws on the results from our test cases and external repositories like FairShare, and includes information for more than 500 different and commercially available digital solutions. The main characteristic of this platform is that enable users to input their personal information, their properties characteristics, and obtain customized assessments and personalized advisory services regarding the selection, use, and assessment of digital solutions. Of course, you can find detailed information for our DATS assessment results. In addition, the consortium developed a comprehensive capacity building program for farm advisors and rural consultants in the field of digital farming and DATS. The scope of the Digital Innovation Academy is to empower farm advisors with the knowledge and skills needed to deliver personalized advisory services regarding the use and selection of digital solutions. It provides, the overall program has been designed as a hybrid training the trainer and the end user training scheme, providing knowledge in 5 main areas: the role of farm advisors in digital uptake, behavioral determinants and associated communication strategies, the different DATS categories, their application areas, costs, benefits, and implications on sustainability, practical guidelines on how to use the QuantiFarm Toolkit to support farmers in adopting and selecting the most appropriate DATS, and the factors alongside with targeted interventions to maximize the effectiveness of a digital solution on the farm. In total, the Digital Innovation Academy prescribed 4 mechanisms for upskilling farm advisors in the field of digital farming. Throughout project implementation, we implemented 2 EU-wide workshops for our partners advisors, but also for an external network of advisors in collaboration with EU-FRAS. We implemented 11 nationwide seminars with a crop-specific focus for local farm advisors in selected test case countries. we developed and launched a digital educational platform with 2 course options for educators and farm advisors to support and provide flexible training opportunities. And we integrated and piloted the idea into 2 courses of the Agricultural University of Athens, which revealed and verified the practical value of our training offerings with the needs of higher education. Overall, the program is referenced to the 5th level of the European qualification framework, which corresponds to the highest level of vocational training. It has a duration of 9.5 hours of delivery time, and it consists of 7 independent modules. Finally, policy is also an integral component of our work in QuantiFarm. Through the project, we sought to increase the capacities of policymakers in designing policy interventions to support digital uptake by creating actionable policy recommendations in 3 interrelated axes. The first was on intervention focusing on the behavioral determinants, trying to address the root causes behind the adoption of digital solutions, or the most appropriate business model for each that category to increase profitability, potential, and competitiveness. And finally, a list of policy measures to avoid that damage farmers' livelihood or they have a severe negative impact on social and environmental conditions. Finally, we also developed a data-driven operational tool, the policy monitoring tool, that scales up the results from our test cases to generate region-wide agricultural performance indicators, enabling policy makers to monitor and design policies related to that adoption and relevant CAP-related goals. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Dionysi, for your presentation. If there are any questions? Okay. Well, if there are any questions come up, you can write them in the chat. We can move on with the presentation demonstration of QuantiFarm toolkit. So, George, if you would like to share your screen for your presentation.
Allow me to share my screen first. Is it okay now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I will continue on what specifically Dionysis described on the QuantiFarm toolkit. And I will describe the tools available there, what's the purpose of the toolkit, and what we try to achieve in the context of having a solid agricultural data sets, and how to convert this information into policy relevant and evidence. So let's begin with a few words about the QuantiFarm toolkit. Essentially, it is a web platform. It's publicly available. It's a web platform where we make all the outcomes of the project visible to everyone, and the goal is to further exploit the digital agricultural solution assessment outcomes in focusing on 3 types of stakeholders, mainly farmers, advisors, and policymakers. So by this, we try to facilitate and make available those data in a user-friendly way, and also support those three types of stakeholders with knowledge, skills, and tools to effectively have evidence-based information available. The heart of the QuantiFarm toolkit is the Dutch assessment framework established by Politecnico di Milano and the Agricultural University of Athens. Of course, the code is freely available for anyone to use or edit and review. I can give you a schema here where we list specific tools that address specific types of stakeholders. The heart of this is the assessment engine, which has which data derived from three main data sources, which are, of course, the actual test cases of pilot test cases described earlier, external repositories such as the Smartakis or Fairshare repositories of digital agricultural solutions, and other external independent sources such as satellite data, statistics, or other databases. In detail, there are 6 tools on the toolkit. It's of course, the results themselves of the pilot test cases and the whole assessment. The cost-benefit calculator, the recommendations tools, the benchmarking, and the advanced decision support tool. Today, we'll give a special emphasis on the policy monitoring tool since its relevance to today's webinar. This is what the front page looks like. We'll visit this in a few moments and browse through the front end. A few words about the assessment results. And so in order for everyone to have a view on what is actually behind, what are the data we build on. Those are the specific metrics we have for every pilot in QuantiFarm, and there are a plethora of variables related to costs, related to revenue outputs, for example, water consumption or pesticide consumption. So all these metrics are available to us for a wide range of test cases and crop types and farm structures. And we try to build tools that utilize those data. I will give you a short overview of each one of the tools, and then we can have a brief demonstration of the policy monitoring tool. So I can begin with a recommendation tool, which is essentially it tries to provide a farmer or an advisor a recommendation based on a large database of digital agricultural solutions. So the user wants to know in a specific context and given his personalized context, for example, for the specific type of farm or a specific type of crop or a specific country. wants to know what is a potential digital agriculture solution that fits to his profile or her profile. This tool is essentially a search engine which recommends from a database of over 500 digital agriculture solutions the specific list of tools or technology solutions that fit to this profile. The second tool takes it one step further, and it is a cost-benefit calculator. So here, not only you select the specific digital agriculture solution, but you feed it with financial and management data regarding the existing crop and farming system. By the user can insert all those metrics in order to get an actual return of investment and net benefit statistics. The final output is the knowledge and a solid indication if the specific farmer will adopt this solution, if this is actually beneficial to him or not. Next is a benchmarking tool, which is essentially a digital farm calendar for recording parcels, farm practices, and environmental recordings. It supports a calculation of various indicators, and then it can provide analytics on those metrics. It is totally free to use for everyone. The only difference for this tool is that you have to log in and create an account to use. Next is the Advanced Decision Support tool. It's a tool that can be utilized mostly by advisors, since it requires extensive knowledge on what aspects of a digital agriculture solution you would like to compare, comparing always with another digital agriculture solution. Last is the policy monitoring tool, which is closer to the context of PoliRural, I could say, since it's an area-based tool. And it can provide regional metrics aggregated over a specific local administrative unit for a specific crop type and a specific growing season. It can it utilizes pilot test case data and information from pilot data that do not utilize a digital agriculture solution. So we can have a generalized indicator tracking, know the differences between farms that utilize or do not utilize the solution, and extrapolate this impact into a regional level. I can give you, I can proceed with giving you a brief demo now about the policy monitoring tool. Sorry. So the user can has free access on this interface, which it can browse the various regions where we have available data. And then it can browse through country, region, and crop type and search by the specific criteria. Then the map focuses on the area of interest, and a specific crop type classification product appears on the map, where this is the basis where all the extrapolation metrics are aggregated into. To begin with, there is an overview of the local administrative unit about the land cover distribution. There is general information about what's the percentage of the area protected by the birth directive or the habitats directive. So this is useful information for a policymaker to know. For example, when we have to do with agricultural metrics such as pesticides or other metrics that have implications into the environment. This is a very useful information to know, for example, that 98% of the area falls within, is protected under Natura 2000 zone legislation. Then we can move into more detail into the data, and we can see that the user can filter by year and have a specific first view of the positive impacts for the area. So for the 2025 season, we can see that there are more positive impacts than negative impacts from the use of the digital agriculture solution. We can see that the net benefit is positive overall in this region for this specific season. And for example, we can see that there is a decreased water consumption and increased costs. But on the other side, we can see that there is some maintenance costs that affect negatively the result. And also we can see that the payback period here is exists, so it acts as a negative impact. Of course, we can see the exact metrics applied in the region. So we can see that the actual cost of digital agriculture solution for the whole region would be 100,000 euro. So this is useful information for 2024. So this is useful information if a policymaker would like to consider funding in a specific region the use of digital agriculture solution. We can see that what's the cost of pesticides or cost of water extrapolated in the whole crop area, and the user can but also the net benefits again aggregated into a regional level. There are more now indicators that are relevant to specific metrics again. So we can see that for this region we have mostly positive impacts regarding labor, water, energy, productivity, and emissions. But the use of DATS in this region has a quite a lot of negative impacts regarding inputs. So although there is a net benefit, a positive net benefit, we can see that the pesticide consumption has increased overall. And there is also a slight negative impact on the costs, for example, as an investment cost that have slightly increased. Overall, this is the policy monitoring tool, and you can already visit this in QuantiFarmToolkit.eu in order to be able to browse these aggregated statistics and have a look. I think this is from my side. I don't know if you have any questions. Yes.
Hi, this is JR from Ireland. Thank you so much. Very interesting tool. Do we need any permission to access these tools?
No, the only permission, no, not a permission, but a requirement is for 2 out of the 5 tools. You would like just to make an account with any email, like a usual sign up and login. For example, in order for you to have a personal farm calendar, of course, you need an account in order to log into your personal data.
Just to log in, go through it, but it's saying the site is not accessed, so that's why I'm asking. But anyway, I will try again.
You can sign up if you tried in a specific tool.
No, just I want to go through in the QuantiFarm Toolkit .eu in the general page, but this site can't be reached. It's saying maybe some operating issue from my side, but I will check. And
you can proceed in the specific tool, and then if a login is required, you will get a message. You can proceed to a specific tool. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then. Thank you, George, for your presentation. If there are any more questions, we can move on to the next presentation about the Jackdaw tool from PoliRuralPlus. Odysseia, if you want to share your screen.
Hello to all. I will share my screen now for the presentation of Jackdaw. Please confirm that you can see my presentation.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So for the project PoliRuralPlus, you have already the presentation have already presented before. So now we will focus on a specific tool on the context of PoliRuralPlus, and it's the Jackdaw tool, which actually is a conversational AI assistant, a chatbot that helps people talk to maps. We know that, of course, there are a lot of AI chatbots like ChatGPT and others, but this tool is specific for interacting with maps. The name comes for a clever bird, the jackdaw bird, that collects things, so on. So our agent gathers and connects pieces of spatial knowledge. Jackdaw aims to close the gap that and actually enables rural development actors, planners, consultants, and practitioners to perform lead and meaningful conversations about maps, about spaces in natural language without relying on intermediary of an expert. Jackdaw actually does not seek to replace or replicate existing tools or infrastructures, but it takes as a starting point data, catalogs, lists, services already available on the cloud, on the internet, and trying to make them more accessible for practical and decision support. This is The architecture is quite technical, but in general terms, this chat agent, the Jackdaw, combines natural language conversation, special data inputs, for example, maps, geometries, regions, and mixed outputs, text, diagrams, and map visualization. The goal is to support rural and agriculture planning, identify urban-rural linkages, and inform policies, policymakers, and investment decisions. What Jackdaw needs to know is in order to answer spatial questions about rural areas. Integrates large language models, like, as I said before, ChatGPT, Gemini, and many of them. A broad base of spatial datasets about infrastructure, demographics, terrain, land use, environment, services, etc. Textual knowledge sources about policy guidelines, legislation, industry news, different opportunities regarding the specific area, and of course, near real-time information services to sense current conditions. For example, the weather, information from sensors, information from farmers in a specific area. So all this can be combined. This is, again, a technical image that describes actually what I have said before, the combination of different sources of data in order to output some meaningful results. So the scenario is like this. The user asks a question, the user specifies a location in a map. Actually, we will see later in a video that the user can draw a bounding box in a map, draw a geometry directly on a map, search for known administrative areas, for example, some municipalities and so on. So Jackdaw then analyzes the topic, analyzes the question, the time frame, and the required spatial resolutions. And then queries relevant tools, datasets, services, gathers all relevant services and data from different sources, and the output is presented in the form of text, maps, and charts, and is relevant, of course, to the question that the user asked in a natural language. The main issue of creating this chatbot is to connect the well-known LLMs with external data. So the bridge between the LLM and the spatial data are programs somehow that can fetch, filter, compute, or do something that formerly had to be done by hand. So Jackdaw uses this tool dynamically, and with well-known technologies like the model context protocol, this can be achieved. This result with very good results and very good workflow. Let's see this image here. This is the workflow that I said before. The Jackdaw analyzes the question, use question to retrieve candidates. For example, if the user asks about, I need, for example, farm data from the specific region, then the Jackdaw will not bring all the data from the whole Europe. We will focus on a specific regions and then retrieve the specific data. Then, of course, can retrieve many different sources, not only data, can retrieve from the weather services, can retrieve from the different other documents that are related with a specific region, then sorts them in a list and of course analyzes them and results the answer to to the user. This is actually the stack of the architecture and services. There are the APIs, MCP servers, the analyzers, the data stores, and then we have access to many different data, raster data, PostGIS data, document data, and so on. Of course, we experiment with multiple LLMs. I have to say now that Jackdaw is in phase of development right now. We are in a very good position, but it's not finalized. So we experiment with multiple LLMs, ChatGPT, with Gemini, with LLMs that we can download it locally. For sustainability, we explore all these choices that are provided and, of course, as you know, are changing day by day. About the next steps is to extend the tool to work better with local and regional scales, to support more spatial data that the user can upload, because the idea here is to retrieve, of course, for the specific region, data that some services offer, but we know that an important here is that if the user himself has data, can upload them to the tool, and of course the Jackdaw can use also this data. To support, as we said, different agents and integration through the MCP protocol, and of course to invite all partners, collaborators with different business case to test the tool and to co-develop the platform. That's why there was an open call from the project about the use of Jackdaw, of development of services and software and systems using as a core the Jackdaw chatbot. And now I will show a video. It's a 3-minute video about how this the Jackdaw is used. We see here that we have a map. It's a very simple interface at this moment, but it's fully functional. So we select a region on the map, and then we ask a question. For example, could you characterize, I didn't see the question, but okay, it's about a question about this specific region. For example, another question about the growth potential. We select a region and we ask, for example, could I grow maize in this area? Okay, so the Jackdaw now retrieves data about this area, about the farmland, about how the temperatures are in this area, and many others parameters, and of course then reports and results this answer here that is very useful for a farmer, for an advisor, or for a policymaker. Other questions about business opportunities. For example, does the market condition in this area support business model based on short supply chains and so on? This is the question that has been asked. And on the same way, we have different results. And the results, as you see, are about the farm distribution, the market, and what is the potential for the specific area. So I don't know, this is the final slide of the my presentation. It's about 1 minute more. If you want to see the whole video, I can leave it. Otherwise, we can close the presentation. And of course, if you have any question, you can ask. Here describes about the some features that the user interface has, about how we can filter and see in a specific area, for example, the elevation says here, the slope, and so on. So we can see exactly the specific area about the characteristics that we choose in the progress in the bar on below. So that was my presentation. Thank you. If you have any questions, as I said, I'm here.
Thank you, Odysseia, for your presentation. If there are no questions, maybe we can wrap up the session. Okay, so I would like to thank you all for participating in today's Synnergy webinar. The recording will be available in the upcoming days on PoliRuralPlus YouTube, so you can revisit it anytime you want. And yeah, thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye all.